Subterranean chambers.
It's a huge opening.
Traces of color. It was pale.
Beyond legendary wonders such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt is home to many treasures of lesser-known but equally fascinating discoveries that have scholars shocked and in awe. From mummified crocodiles and the Temple of Zeus to King Tutankhamun's dagger and golden mummies, you'll be amazed by what treasures have been uncovered beneath Egypt's ancient sands. Join us. We reveal 15 of Egypt's most hidden mysteries recently discovered. Number 15. The Bones. Archaeologists discovered a burial site with an unusual find, where the bones of an 8-year-old child were discovered among the remains of 142 dogs. It's a terrifying scenario. The Russian Academy of Sciences Center for Egyptological Research discovered this unique burial site in the Fayum Oasis, about 60 miles south of Cairo. Thought to have occurred in the 1st century BC, this burial is unlike any other uncovered in Egypt. The body of the child was carefully placed on top of the dogs, the majority of which were small puppies. There is also another weird surprise in store. A linen bag has been placed over the child's head. What may possibly be the purpose of this unusual practice? According to researchers, it could be a mix of religious and magical ideas, probably inspired by foreigners living in the region. But the subject of the child's link to these dogs remains unanswered. The presence of blue clay on the dog bones suggests a possible outcome for the dogs. This clay was abundant in ancient Egyptian reservoirs, suggesting that they were destroyed by a catastrophic flood. The lack of traces of abuse suggests that drowning was the most likely cause of their deaths. But what was the child's part in this confusing scenario? Could they have been looking after the dogs when the tragedy occurred? The linen bag draped over the child's head adds another element of mystery. Earlier in the necropolis, a similar sack was discovered alongside a body with an arrow in its chest, indicating execution. Could there be a link between the two cases? Number 14. 2,500-year-old mummified crocodiles. Archaeologists uncovered an astonishing discovery in an undisturbed tomb at Kubbat al-Haw, an ancient necropolis on the Nile River's western bank. There, buried in the sands of time, they uncovered a cache of mummified crocodiles. What makes this discovery even more interesting is the unusual way these animals were maintained. These 10 specimens, unlike other mummified crocodiles, were neither treated with resin nor evisceration during the mummification process. Instead, they were preserved in their entirety, providing archaeologists with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study their remains up close and personal. The enormous Nile crocodile and a mysterious West African crocodile are thought to be represented by these majestic monsters, which range in size from 6 to 11.5 feet. But how did they end up in this ancient tomb? It appears that they were mummified naturally in sand pits elsewhere before being brought to Kubbat al-Haw during the 5th century BC. What a journey these old reptiles have had. Another fascinating fact is the reason for their extinction. Unlike some other mummified crocodiles discovered abroad, these Kubbat al-Haw crocodiles showed no traces of violence. Instead, evidence suggests they died as a result of drowning, asphyxia, or prolonged exposure to the blazing Egyptian sun. Rope traces discovered on several of the mummies suggest a tied-up fate, which could have resulted in dehydration and death. We all know how important crocodiles were to the ancient Egyptians. These ferocious beasts were associated with the great god Sobek, who wore a crocodile's head. The Egyptians sought Sobek's protection from poisonous reptiles and his blessing of fruitful land. These mummified crocodiles could be religious offerings or heavenly help requests. Archaeologists are still attempting to validate their findings using radiocarbon and DNA testing. Number 13. King Tutankhamun's dagger from outer space. Many old treasures have been uncovered, but this one buried beneath the earth may be out of this world. The dagger from outer space discovered in the tomb of King Tutankhamun. Archaeologists are confused by the origins of this golden-hilted meteoric iron knife. This discovery reveals that the dagger wielded by ancient Egypt's most renowned pharaoh was made of iron produced in space. Iron smelting was not even established during King Tutankhamun's reign, making this metal a rare and valuable commodity that often originated from meteorites. According to one theory, the dagger was made in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey. There is research stating that the glue used on the gold hilt was most likely lime plaster, a substance widespread in Anatolia during Tutankhamun's reign. According to historical texts, Tutankhamun's grandfather received an iron knife from the ruler of Mitanni, a region in Anatolia. Yet another study contradicts this notion, claiming that determining the dagger's origin, craftsmen, or materials involved is still impossible. The blade's rock crystal pommel has similarities to Aegean artifacts, yet its typically Egyptian shape suggests it was made in Egypt. So where did this magnificent weapon originate? Looking into the science, the iron blade appears to have been made using low-temperature heat, leaving behind interesting Widmanstätten patterns and Troilite mineral formations. These distinguishing characteristics reveal information about the dagger's production process. So which idea do you believe is most credible? Number 12. 4,300-foot-long tunnel. Deep beneath the Egyptian sands, near the Taposiris Magna temple devoted to the god of death, Osiris, is a 4,300-foot-long tunnel that has amazed scientists. Not only that, but this 6.5-foot-tall architectural wonder is a geometric miracle, and an identical duplicate of Greece's legendary Eupalinos tunnel. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist, has been on a quest to discover the long-lost tomb of none other than Cleopatra herself. However, she discovered an amazing tunnel buried 43 feet down while working around the Taposiris Magna temple. But what secrets does this secret path conceal, and why is it partially submerged? The explanation, we believe, lies in the natural disasters that shook the region years before causing the temple's collapse. Furthermore, Martinez also discovered 2 Ptolemaic-era alabaster statues, ceramic vessels, and pots, shedding light on ancient Egyptian civilization. But here's the twist. While Cleopatra's tomb remains a mystery, prior excavations at the location have unearthed incredible artifacts, including coins bearing the iconic names and portraits of Cleopatra VII and Alexander the Great. Is this a path leading to the famed queen's resting place? We can't help but wonder if Cleopatra and her beloved Mark Antony are also buried near this tunnel. Number 11. Missing tooth solved mummy mystery. Everything you discover buried in Egypt's sands could be precious. To prove, a tooth was unearthed that helped identify Hatshepsut, Egypt's finest female pharaoh, who reigned over 3,000 years ago. Hatshepsut's reign was a watershed moment in Egyptian history, as she became only the second woman to rule the country. Her legacy, however, was mysteriously destroyed after her death, and her mummy went missing. The quest for Hatshepsut's mummy led us to tomb KV-60, a different tomb containing the remains of 2 ladies. Within this tomb, a little wooden box housed an important clue, a tooth. This tooth was essential in resolving the long-standing mystery concerning the queen's last resting place. Archaeologists sought the help of a dentist to examine the tooth scans and compare them to those of other female mummies. The results were astounding. The missing tooth from the fat lady mummy discovered in tomb KV-60 perfectly matched the space in the queen's mouth. Teeth have distinctive proportions, and this discovery offered proof that this was really Hatshepsut's missing mummy. But the surprises don't stop there. The CT scan also revealed interesting details about the mummy's health, including cancer signs. We may now see inside the life of this great queen and discover more about her mysterious demise, thanks to advances in technology. Hatshepsut's reign was a prosperous one in ancient Egypt, yet her existence was lost to history. However, the reasons for her absence from historical records remain unknown. Number 10. Falcon Shrine with remains of headless falcons. To understand this discovery, we must go back to the 4th century AD, when the Roman Empire's influence over Egypt was beginning to weaken. Archaeologists have unearthed a falcon temple in Berenike, an ancient Red Sea town. This 1,700-year-old magnificent shrine has stunned archaeologists with its odd contents, which include 15 headless falcons on a pedestal, a stone monument depicting unknown gods, and an iron harpoon, each with its own mysterious inscription. The decapitation of the falcons could have been a ritualistic gesture to complete a live offering to the shrine's god. But why were these gorgeous birds headless? And what importance did they have in ancient Egyptian religious practices? The stone memorial with the phrase, "It is improper to boil a head in here," provides an extra degree of suspense. Why would a temple forbid the boiling of heads? As we progress deeper into the temple, we come upon three strange deities depicted on the stela. We are drawn to Harpocrates of Coptos, a child god, and two other unidentified gods with falcon and cow horn crowns. Who were they? No one has yet responded to this. One probable interpretation is that the decapitated falcons were sacrificed to these deities, and the harpoon was also used as an offering. According to the inscription on the stela, the sacrificial animals were cooked before being offered, probably to ease feather plucking. The shrine also contains the eggshells of fish, animals, and birds, suggesting possible feasting and more offerings. Curiosity makes you ponder. What were these religious practices? Number 9. Temple inspired by Greek god Zeus. In Greek mythology, Zeus, the great god of the sky, is worshipped in a splendid temple in Olympia. So how could a Zeus-inspired temple be discovered in Egypt? Everyone in Egypt seemed surprised by this revelation. Archaeologists discovered the remnants of a temple devoted to Zeus Cassios in the Sinai Peninsula, a remarkable fusion of the Greek god Zeus and Mount Cassios on the boundary between Syria and Turkey. According to legend, Zeus fought the terrible Typhon on this particular mountain to gain rulership of the cosmos, triumphing with his great lightning bolt. Archaeologists discovered two large pink granite pillars, each towering 6.5 feet tall, that may have originally formed the temple's entrance gate. These pillars are thought to have collapsed as a result of a major earthquake. As we continued our exploration, we came across a group of granite slabs that most likely constituted a staircase leading to the temple. Pink stones have been reused in various projects, providing insight into the temple's architecture. His great idea for the temple demonstrates Zeus's maintained importance even during Roman authority. Mount Cassios functioned as a sacred site of worship across numerous historical religions, adding to the heritage of religious multiculturalism in ancient times. This discovery raises the question of how ancient Egyptians came to worship a Greek god. What ceremonies and rituals took place within these hallowed walls? What other valuables will be discovered during the excavation? More discoveries in the future may help bridge the gap between Greece and Egypt. Number 8. Ancient artwork with flying birds. You never know how valuable an Egyptian picture might be. A picture discovered in the palace of Amarna, an ancient Egyptian metropolis, has captivated academics for over a century. But it's not just any old piece of art. It displays a breathtaking sight of birds flying and perching in a beautiful marsh. What's especially amazing is that modern experts can correctly identify the bird species displayed almost 3,300 years ago. Rock pigeons, pied kingfishers, red-backed shrikes, and white wagtails are among the birds illustrated. To identify these birds, the specialists examined the facsimiles of the artwork and ornithological research materials. But what is the relevance of highlighting these specific species? Could they have symbolic significance? This discovery helps us imagine the green room. As we enter it, we are greeted by a lush atmosphere filled with water lilies, papyrus plants, and these gorgeous birds. Consider the serene ambiance it must have provided as a location for the royal family to unwind. We're left wondering if real plants were used in this room. Pleasing scents probably filled the air, and maybe even music, making for a fully sensual experience. However, digging deeper into history reveals that this magnificent work of art originates from the period of Pharaoh Akhenaten, who governed Egypt between around 1353 BC and 1336 BC. During his reign, Egypt's religion was influenced by his singular focus on the worship of the sun disk, the Aten. The palace where this masterwork was discovered was built as part of his new capital, Akhetaten. What makes this revelation even more interesting is that the original artworks are no longer in existence. They are fragile and vulnerable, having been painted over a century ago by Egyptologist Nina Dagger Davies. The preservation technique backfired, resulting in browning and darkening. Thankfully, her replicas allow us to appreciate the ancient Egyptians' remarkable workmanship. Surprisingly, the artwork depicts rock pigeons, which were not prevalent in Egypt's papyrus wetlands, but were instead associated with desert rocks. Why did the painters include them in this scene? And why did they give the red-backed shrikes and white wagtails trapezoidal tail markings that they don't have in real life? The discovery of this antique picture has raised numerous doubts. What additional masterpieces might be hidden away, waiting to reveal the secrets of this ancient civilization? We may never know the answers to these questions, but we do know one thing. The ancient Egyptians were brilliant artists. Number 7. There was a collection of 3 gorgeous rings and a stunning necklace hidden within a secret burial site dating back more than 3,300 years. Akhetaten, the once thriving city constructed by Pharaoh Akhenaten, is located in the northern region of the country. Akhenaten was known for his ambitious religious reforms centering on the worship of the sun disk, the Aten, and his efforts to restructure Egypt's polytheistic beliefs. This decision prompted him to relocate the capital from Thebes to the freshly built desert city of Akhetaten. His religious reforms, however, were finally undone by none other than his own son, the legendary Tutankhamun. Now that we've dug into the heart of this ancient burial place, we can see the riches it contains. Among the sparkling gold jewelry, one ring turns out with a beautiful carving of Bees, the god of fun. Bees was not only the life of the party, but also a guardian of women during childbirth, thanks to his playful character. But who was Bees exactly? What relevance did he have in people's lives back then? There are numerous unsolved questions. We're also curious about the person who once wore this lovely ring. Were they close to the pharaoh or commoners seeking Bees' protection and merriment? There is still a lot to learn about ancient Egyptian culture and religion. Number 6. The Mysterious Lady. The Mysterious Lady is a genuinely unusual and interesting archaeological find. Imagine discovering an ancient fetus preserved in its mother's womb by a delicate blend of decay and mummification. The first pregnant Egyptian mummy was discovered by Egyptian archaeologists, creating a number of concerns. How did the ancient Egyptians manage to keep a fetus within a woman? According to the researchers behind the Warsaw Mummy Project, the fetus was exposed to a very acidic uterine environment over time, which caused its bones to dissolve. Nonetheless, the salting procedure employed during mummification rescued the mother's bones from the same destiny and sealed the uterus like a time capsule, saving the unborn child's soft tissue. This preservation method is identical to what happened naturally with Europe's famous bog bodies. The fetus in the mysterious lady's womb was protected by the unusual conditions, just as it is in the acidic, low-oxygen settings of peat bogs, giving scientists a rare peek into the past. But here's the rub. Why was the fetus left within the mother's body when other internal organs were removed during the mummification process? Experts assume that it was either too difficult to remove the fetus at this stage of development or that it held religious significance. The mystery does not end there. The existence of the mysterious lady calls into question our knowledge of pregnant mummies in ancient Egypt. Previous radiologists, according to archaeologist Wojciech Eismund, may have disregarded additional fetuses in mummies due to their lack of bones, making them nearly invisible to X-ray scanners. It appears that looking for the distinctive structures of soft tissues holds the key to uncovering mummified fetuses within wombs. Now, it's time for today's Subscriber's Pick. What scientists found within a forbidden tomb in Egypt shocked the whole world. This image shows a mummy discovered in a forbidden tomb. What's surprising is how the mummy was buried with ornaments shaped like birds and snakes, and a tongue of gold. Could this be a rich pharaoh expected to become a god who could command the animals in the afterlife? Or is it just his favorite jewelry buried alongside him, without any symbolic significance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 5. Strange, flat-faced dinosaur. Discovering a creature with a bulldog-like face, stumpy arms, and tiny teeth sounds like something out of Jurassic Park. Scientists in Egypt discovered the vertebra bone of a new dinosaur species from the Abelosaurid family. But what makes this discovery so remarkable? This bipedal dinosaur roamed the Sahara Desert roughly 98 million years ago during the Cretaceous period, the dinosaur's final era. This carnivorous beast held its own in the old ecology, standing 20 feet long and around the size of a school bus. But what really distinguishes it are its flat-faced characteristics and short arms, which make it stand out in the world of dinosaurs. The trouble is, abelisaurids, like this newly discovered dinosaur, were typically located in Europe and the Southern Hemisphere, and this is the first time their skeletons have been unearthed in Egypt, right here in the Bahariya Oasis. Bilal Salem of the Mansoura University Vertebrate Paleontology Center led this exciting expedition. He and his team set out on an ambitious journey to find these interesting fossils. The Bahariya Oasis has long been a dinosaur discovery hotspot, but tragically, much of the fossils were destroyed during World War II. However, the remaining bones provide a glimpse into Egypt's extraordinary Cretaceous dinosaur biodiversity. Imagine the Sahara Desert to be filled with these fascinating creatures. Number 4. Rare mummified lion cubs. The Egyptian Antiquities Ministry discovered a beautiful collection of ancient artifacts and mummified creatures in the Saqqara necropolis, and at the center of the collection was something remarkable. At least 2 lion cubs were found alongside a collection including 75 wooden and bronze cat statues, wonderfully decorated wooden cases filled with mummified cats, and an enthralling array of statues showing other animals and birds, ranging from bulls to mongooses, ibises, and falcons. Crocodiles, cobras, and scarab beetles are among the numerous mummified species discovered at the site. This discovery makes you wonder if they were regarded as gods on Earth or as cherished pets. The discovery of the lion cubs is significant since it is the first time a complete mummy of a lion or lion cub has been discovered in Egypt. Based on the size and structure of their bones, 2 of the 5 mummified cats have been recognized as lion cubs using advanced CT scans. The identities of the other 3 remain unknown. The importance of these mummified animals can be traced back to the ancient Egyptian practice of religious offerings. People believed that creating mummies of diverse creatures was a great means of communicating with their gods. This practice became so prevalent that it developed a specialized industry centered on ritualized animal sacrifice. Among the numerous creatures mummified with tremendous regard were cats, dogs, falcons, monkeys, and even snakes and crocodiles. What additional mysteries could be hidden beneath the sands of Saqqara and other necropolises? More discoveries will expose these truths. Number 3. Tomb of Queen Nefertiti. Hidden hieroglyphics in King Tutankhamun's tomb resurrected the belief that Queen Nefertiti was buried next to her stepson in a hidden chamber. Nicholas Reeves, a well-known British Egyptologist, has given new light on this surprising possibility, leaving us wondering about the secrets buried beneath the sands of history. The cartouches, which were previously supposed to portray Tutankhamun being buried by his successor, have been revealed to contain signs of Tutankhamun burying none other than Nefertiti, Egypt's renowned beauty and queen. The evidence alludes to a hidden story about Tutankhamun officiating at his revered predecessor's burial. So it is possible that Nefertiti's tomb is part of the bigger structure that holds Tutankhamun's tomb. Experts have long been confused by Tutankhamun's burial chamber's odd design and changes in artwork. The evidence now suggests that Tutankhamun's tomb was originally part of a larger tomb built for and still occupied by the legendary Queen Nefertiti. Perhaps Tutankhamun's tomb might lead to a more momentous find, exposing the last resting place of the legendary Queen Nefertiti. If that's the case, what more wonders might lie in store for us within the Valley of the King's vastness? The science underlying this quest adds to the mystery. Radar investigations have shown hints of possible man-made structures, provoking theories that a hidden entry could lead to the tomb's extension. To solve this mystery, archaeologists are researching hieroglyphics, thermal imaging, and mold growth analyses. Who knows when they will finally unearth Nefertiti's tomb, opening a gateway to a lost era filled with pharaohs, queens, and treasures of unimaginable splendor. Number 2. 4,500-year-old ramp system. For generations, we've been amazed at ancient Egypt's towering pyramids, and the question has always lingered in our minds. How did they build these great monuments without modern technology? An extraordinary discovery provides light on our ancestors' mechanical skills. The mystery of the pyramid's creation may have been solved. The Hatnub Quarry was explored by a group of talented archaeologists from the University of Liverpool and Cairo's French Institute for Oriental Archaeology. What they discovered was simply astounding. A 4,500-year-old ramp system that could reveal the mysteries of one of the world's 7 wonders, the Great Pyramid of Giza. We've known for a long time that the ancient Egyptians moved those big stone blocks using ramps. However, this newly discovered ramp is steeper than we could have expected. Not only that, but this amazing find includes a series of post holes, indicating that the architects used a clever pulley system, enabling them to transport these massive blocks in both directions, making the job more efficient and quick. Consider the hustle-bustle of the ancient quarry, teams of laborers, ropes, and wooden posts all working together to build one of the world's most recognizable landmarks. It's like an ancient engineering masterpiece resurrected. And it's not just a theory. This ramp and its post holes were discovered during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, the architect of the Great Pyramid. This suggests that the technology may have been utilized to build this monument. Moreover, this discovery also provides vital insights about the logistics and technologies employed by the ancient Egyptians. Considering the determination required to construct such a spectacular structure thousands of years ago, you can't help but respect the ancient Egyptians' incredible brilliance. Number 1. Golden mummies of Egypt. For a long time, we thought mummification was only used to keep the deceased alive. However, this may not be the case. The Manchester Museum's breakthrough exhibition, Golden Mummies of Egypt, aims to expose the true purpose of this complicated burial technique. Mummification was a practice to assist the departed toward God rather than conserving the bodies. So what caused this incredible misunderstanding? It all started with Victorian academics who, while studying the use of salt in mummification, discovered that it could be used to preserve fish for future eating. However, the salt used by the ancient Egyptians, known as natron, was quite different. It was a natural mineral discovered along the Nile that was also utilized in temple rites and even applied to god statues for purification. As a result, mummification was a spiritual journey in which the body was transformed into a holy being. Incense was also used extensively during the process. Burning incense in temples made the area sacred in ancient Egypt, but applying incense resins to the body made the body divine, transforming it into a deity form. The Egyptian word for incense meant to make divine. Such interesting rites contributed to the widespread assumption that mummification was only used to preserve the body for the afterlife. Consider the sarcophagi and burial masks discovered accompanying mummies. These were not meant to conceal the deceased's identity. Rather, they displayed an idealized vision of their divine form. These artifacts and portraits provide additional insight into the underlying intentions of mummification. This discovery is a watershed moment in our understanding of the ancient Egyptians. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.